morning. My previous laptop caught on fire. So you can see I'm using the old one, which is from way back in 2011. And I spent the last day updating everything that I could get my hands on, and I'm still not even halfway through because it's an old computer. And I realized I need a USB memory stick and a battery to re-update or update the BIOS. And the speakers are broken, so unfortunately we will be very lacking in audio for a while. And I'm slowly saving finally for the tabletop computer, but it will take a considerable amount of time. I was wondering what would break when I purchased the CBD, and it turned out to be the computer. It took the hit for me. So what I'm looking at now is getting the CBD to come through. It is technically legal under EU law, but Finns categorize it against EU law as a medical component. But the EU law doesn't allow regional law enforcement areas, as in countries, to stop its trade if it can't be proven that it is harmful to the people or the person trading it. And my case is that I'm quitting THC and tobacco and switching over to CBD, and I'm not selling it. So wondering what they'll be able to categorize as harm. There are some ground level physical stores which sell it in Helsinki. So it should be legal if it's allowed on the market in the capital. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm then, if it comes through, I know that the store-bought seeds for the psychoactive cannabis plant die in 3 months. They bloom and then they die, so I have no use for them. That's not the tree I'm aiming for. But as the guys following me know, I'm aiming for a life tree, as in a tree that lives forever and provides for a small family, what you'd call an orchard. But I am noticing that I need hybrid seeds that produce the flower part, but do not die from the production aspect. So those I need. Luckily, I have one very, very, very small plant with it. And if the CBD comes through, I will have 2 or 3 months, depending on how long it lasts, as a minimum, up to maybe half a year, but that ain't gonna go. So maybe 2-3 months, which should be enough to grow the little plant to the level where it can sustain me. And I'm going to be, as soon as the CBD arrives, quitting tobacco and THC. So I should be saving a lot of money. And now that you can tell that I do need those computer upgrades, we'll be seeing some new stuff around the office. This should be the magic doorway I've been waiting for. CBD has literally no illegal market value, and its only value is the medical part of it for the very few people who would like to drink alcohol one instead of actual alcohol, who really like the taste and nothing else. It gives you, the CBD, a warm feeling of everything's fine, but that's the extent of it. No psychoactive, no hallucinogen, no nothing. It works very mildly for pain relief. and muscle relaxation. And you all who know me know why I need those things. Hopefully the audio is working, by the way. So first, I'm going to buy laptop battery. Since I have the charger, which has the different sets of ends, I can buy a new charger ends. I need a memory stick. The charger end is for the old laptop, which I won't turn on due to it being a fire hazard before I can move all the stuff from it to another drive, so it won't be for a while, but I will very quickly power it up to save my save game state so I can continue with my Steam saves, but that is about it. I need the memory stick and the battery to update the BIOS and make this a Windows 64 Ultimate because it's a 32 Ultimate. I can't go beyond Windows 7 because it's an old computer, but here's the problem you can detect with 32 Ultimate instead of 64 Ultimate. I have 4 gigabytes of memory on this computer, and it can only find 3 because the system. And the operating system needs nowhere near 1. So at most, the operating system might need a half, and even that alternatingly. And the 64-bit makes this 4 gigabytes and doesn't leave any reserved for the operating system, but gives the operating system a priority on memory calls, so it works better. And you can see here's actually, I think, the operating system's current memory use, 200 megabytes. And I have 4 added gigabytes of hard drive memory it can use as memory for the operating system, but it doesn't use it well because this is near max and this is near empty. And that's because, once again, 64 instead of 32. And once I do the BIOS update, I might, but very unlikely, be able to overclock this because you can see that the clock speed isn't enough to do almost anything on this. Like, you can completely forget any kind of chance of making podcasts, for example, that you can forget about games. So this will take a while to upgrade, but we'll get there. If I manage to overclock this with the BIOS update, because the BIOS I use is from 2011 and the most up-to-date is 2018 because this is an old computer, I will have an operating system which is no longer being updated, so its final polished form, it's no longer being worked at. I will have 4 gigabytes of RAM instead of 3 gigabytes. And I will have around 20% more CPU power. That is assuming I can upclock this, which seems unlikely. Even without it, there should be at least 10% more because I read through the BIOS update log and there's a lot of stuff that increased performance. So as you can see, this is pretty much what I got. We'll see tomorrow once I get the memory stick if the 64-bit OS is any more better. I recall this computer once I first got it because this was for schoolwork, that it was actually quite good. And I recall it being on a 64-bit OS because this is not very good on 32-bit. It would have been incapable of being worked at a sufficient level. So we'll see the 64-bit OS next, and if it works, I might try to update the BIOS, but I don't think it works like that, so we'll see. Thank